Hello boys and girls, today I'm going to show you how to create a Chinese Ming Dynasty style plate like this one. This design right here was created on a paper plate, so if you have that handy, that will work. Today I'm actually going to be creating my demonstration on just a round piece of paper. So if you don't have a compass to draw a circle onto your paper, what you can use is a plate. So all you have to do is find a plate in your cupboard that's about the same size as your paper, trace around it, and then you can cut it out for your circle design. So I'm going to start in the middle of the plate, and I'm going to draw floral pattern on my plate. I created this handout for you so that you can have the steps on how to draw flowers very simply, just the center of a flower. And you could draw all different types of flowers on the bottom, or you could look online for different types of flowers that you want to draw. Okay, so I'm going to start in the center. So we'll find the center. Is this the center? No. Is this the center? No. We'll find the middle. That's around there, right? So it should be equal on each side. This is the middle. And in the middle, I'm going to lightly draw a circle. This will be erased later. And then I'm going to draw another circle where I want my flower to be. So it looks like a donut. Next, I'm going to start with my petals. There are many different types of flower petals. You could draw any type of flower that you want. I'll keep it simple. I'm just going to draw a petal like this. So many times when I draw the petals on the top, then I draw a petal on the bottom, and then I draw a petal on each side. Notice that each time I draw a petal, I start in the center circle and I move out to the outer circle. Then after I've done that, the top and then the bottom, so I call that the north, east, south, and west, like the different directions. Then I draw a petal in between. And you could do any type of flower this way. Okay. Now, after I've done that, then I erase. And then I can add some petals between if I want to make it a more full flower. Depends on the type of flower you're creating. And then I would draw a stem and leaves. However, since we are doing this plate design, I'm going to hold off on those. I'm going to draw something in the middle of my flower to make it look more interesting. So we'll draw some little stems in the center, and then I'll draw a little circle. So just be creative. You don't have to draw exactly what I'm drawing. You can draw whatever you want. Now, around my flowers, what's going to make this look like a Ming Dynasty plate is going to be the other patterns and decorative elements. Remember, a pattern is a repeating line, shape, color, so something that has to repeat in a sequence in order to be a pattern. So what I'm going to do, because we have a circle, this is called radial symmetry. It means that everything is going to be the same going around this flower, right? And flowers themselves have radial symmetry. That means this is the center. If I cut it into quarters, each quarter would look pretty much the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a circle around my flower to place where my patterns are going to go. Okay. Now, when I draw my circle, sometimes it helps to practice a few times with my finger. Figure out where I want things to go. And when you're doing this, you want to press very, very lightly with your pencil, because if your circle looks a little wonky, then you want to be able to erase. What you can do also is, if you're at home and you have some things to trace, you can use some different, lids and things that you might have that are circular, and you could trace around them. You just want to make sure that it is centered. That means that there is the same amount of space on this side and on this side and on this side. So roughly it's a little bit, I think this could be a little bit longer here. Okay, and then I erase. I'll draw another circle. Trying to keep the space even all the way around. Another thing that you can do is you can use a compass. A compass is a tool that is used a lot of times in math, but also in art to create circles. So to use a compass, so this is a fancy compass. I'm going to put this in the middle. Hold it in the center. Go around. The only problem with this is you need to really make sure it's right in the center. So let me fix this one a little. All right, so this will make the most exact, but I don't mind. I like it. It has more character, I think, if it's not so exact. But we'll just make sure that's right. Okay, and then it is time to add patterns. So in the rest of my flower, I might want some spiral vines and lines like this. Think about what kind of designs you want on your flower. And then to those, I might add some leaves. So that's one repeating design. I also, for you, created a handout that I'll put below the link for. And this is different ornamental patterns inspired by Chinese arts. So you can look at this and you can pick off some designs that you might like or see in it that you can add in your platter. I'm going to move to marker and I'm going to outline some of this next. Now remember, a pattern is a repeating line or shape or figure, something that has to repeat. So you could make your pattern very simple. You could do stripes, just little lines that go from the center outward. You could make your pattern more complicated. Another more complicated pattern might be something like this pattern, which I like to call like a rainbow pattern. Now what I would do for this pattern is I would draw a arched line like this, and I would repeat that all the way around. And then in between, I draw another one. I try to make it the same size. See, I'm taking my time. I'm going nice and slowly. And then I might put a third one. Those are a little smaller. And then I turn each of these little arches into a little rainbow. Now, I would say you probably should have at least 3 different patterns on your project. There's 3 on this right now. There's the spirals going around my flower. There's the little repeating lines, and then these. And you would fill this all the way around. I'm going to continue that, and then I'll come back. land on what my design will be on my plate, I'm going to erase all of the pencil lines from earlier. You'll notice as I worked that I used different color blues just because I had them. Really for this lesson, you only need one blue. I'm going to show you how to create different blues using water and turning your magic marker into a watercolor. So you will need water and some type of a brush. If you don't have a paintbrush, you can use a Q-tip. You can use a makeup brush if you have an old makeup brush laying around. But you're going to want to use something that gives you some level of control. The bigger the brush, the bigger the area you're going to paint. So actually, I think I'll use a smaller brush. You don't want too much water on your brush because then your water will pool and you won't be able to decide. And you don't want to go over everything. You want to just choose as an artist what areas you want to create your watercolor on. So I'm going to do just a little bit inside the shapes. I'm going to create this pattern of light blue, dark blue. Actually, I need an even finer brush for all these little details. If you don't have a fine brush, then you probably should just go over bigger areas so you can make those decisions as an artist. As an artist, you should also make the decision, what am I going to leave white? You don't want to go over everything because then you've lost all interest in your watercolor. So you want to think about, where do I want it to be darker? Where do I want my plate to be lighter? What kind of pattern do I want to create with value? And value is the lights and the darks. So I'm talking about the lights and the darks of the blue. I'll try these little shapes here. And you can see the different blues make very different colors, so it's up to you to decide what you want to be dark and what you want to be light. Also on your flower, you decide what you want to be dark and what you want to be light on that. Ooh, I missed the middle with the pencil. My Chinese Ming Dynasty plate is just about complete. I did want to point out that every once in a while a drop of water, like right here, hits my work, and as it sits there it takes up the lines. So when you're all done, if everything is all dry, then you can take your marker and you can just kind of touch up those areas where you might have accidentally gotten a drip. Like I did. Don't forget to add your artist's signature. Traditionally, plates are signed on the back. So you can just kind of put your artist's stamp right there, okay? And I can't wait to see what you create.